But your stories are interesting, so I don't want to interrupt, but go ahead.
Um, so as long as I can remember, for as long as I could remember, I always, even if I didn't use the term alien or extraterrestrial because I was young, so I didn't have a label, a name for them. I just knew that we were not the only living beings on this planet. I knew that there was so much more out there. I even believed from a young age that I was on a foreign planet, that this Earth was not my home. That always resonated with me. I always had that within me. I just felt like I felt homesick, severely homesick, and I was angry because I knew in my heart, I knew in my soul that Earth was not my home, and I just felt like I'd just been dropped off and left to my own devices, and I was suffering, and I couldn't understand. Come on then. I couldn't understand. I was just lonely, everyone was so different from me and it was horrible. So anyway, so I always believed, like I say, in other things. So yeah, I was around 8 or 9 years old, and I went to bed, just a normal night. I waited till my siblings fell asleep, and then I would sneak out of bed and oftentimes sit on my window ledge and just look up at the stars and just gaze at the stars. I always felt like a sense of peace when I looked up at the stars. I felt like I was at home, So that was my little nightly ritual routine thing I did. I always did that. I loved looking at the stars. And anyway, so on this one particular night, looking out at the stars, and I see this huge, huge bright star, and I was like, wow, that is so beautiful. And I just watched it, and it was in the sky, stationary, and then all of a sudden it just got brighter and brighter, and it started moving slowly, very slowly, and I just remember following it with my eyes. I was just like, whoa, that's incredible. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then this one star, so I don't know if this one star split into three or two more came to that one star, if that makes sense. Because it kind of came, it was like one star, and then it went into three. So it was like a triangle shape. So yeah, like I say, I don't know if it was just a singular ship and it just put on some other lights, or it was just one ship and two others joined it. I don't know, because it wasn't like I saw a star and then two stars came like that. It was kind of like one star and then two others appeared. Yeah, and I remember it was fading in. I don't know what I'm doing with my fingers, by the way, but it was like fading in and out, these three dots, in, out, and then two would go, one would stay, one would go, two, kind of like that for a bit.
It was fluctuating.
Thank you. There we go. That was so much easier. Yes, it was fluctuating. It was fluctuating. I almost felt like, well, not almost, it felt like it was putting on a show. That's what it felt like. It knew that I was watching, and I connected with that ship telepathically. Telepathically in the sense, because obviously there's different forms of telepathy. So telepathic in the sense of not hearing, a voice, but it was a feeling, a sense. It was that kind of telepathic connection, as well as a familiar feeling, a comfort home feeling. It just felt like I was being visited by my family. That's exactly what it felt like. So it was fluctuating, and then I remember the triangle kind of got further, the three dots got further away, and then it walked and came back in, and then it kind of was morphing and changing shape like this. It was crazy. It was just so cool. I know, yeah, I was like, and then, yeah, then I'm trying to remember it now. And then I think the three dots then went back to one. So then it was one light, back to the beginning with the star. Well, it wasn't a star, obviously. Stars don't do that. It was a UFO. And so then the UFO moves closer to me. It was actually, it was just behind my back garden, and I had a very small back garden, so I'm not very good with you know, how many meters or foot or feet away. I'm not very good with that, but it was big and it was bright. So I don't know how far it was, but it was pretty close. You know, like I said, I had a very small garden. It was just behind my gate. And then so anyway, so it comes closer, you know, at a steady pace. It comes closer and then it stops, and then all of a sudden it shoots like super fast, like that, and then just stops in midair. Like, I've never seen anything shoot so fast like that. And then it turns again, and then it comes closer to me, and then it's just morphing and doing some crazy things. And then at this point, I'm like, it's really got my attention. And then all of a sudden, it lowers down to the point of where I'm like this on the window, and I'm like looking because I can't see anymore because of the trees. And I'm like, where's it gone? Where's it gone? It just gets lower and lower and lower, to the point where I literally, if I could, I would have gone outside and looked for it, but I couldn't. And I was just waiting eagerly, like, you know, where is it? Show yourself to me again. Like, don't hide. Where are you? And then it wasn't too long, and then all of a sudden it shot up like this, super fast. It was just stopped midair, and then it sat there probably for about 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden it flew off super fast, sonic speed, flew off, and it lit the sky up. A bit like, you know, when you have fireworks and it lights the sky up. It was like that, colours, and it just gone. Yeah. And I started to cry. I was crying. I remember saying in my head, come back, don't leave me, come back. And it was so emotional, and I just felt like it left me, and it was really sad. So yeah, so that happened as well at that age, which, you know, so of course, to me, I knew I didn't know there were extraterrestrial or aliens. I just knew it wasn't of this earth, and it was otherworldly. Definitely, there was no doubt about it. That energy was not earthly energy. I felt that much. Yeah.
Do you think that? I'm sorry, I don't need to interrupt, but I was just wondering, do you think that because they're out of time, they're not in the same time that we're in, like they're outside of time, right? So they're looking at you, and they're not thinking, oh, it's been years since we've seen you. You know, like, to them, it was just maybe not that long ago, because they have such longer lives or whatever. So they're just coming back to say hi, not thinking, oh my God, she's going to be so sad when we leave. You know what I mean? Because it's been so long. But for us, it's
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Because time, I think time's different for them, you know. What would be, say, I don't know, let's say a year in our time, hypothetically, would probably be like a day in their time. That's how different. Yeah, you know. Yeah, kind of like that. So,
like with cats, for example, they don't live as long as we do, right? Their lives are so much shorter. So that when we leave for the day, it could be like months for them, you know. And they're like, you come back, it's like they're so happy to see us, and like, where's my food? Like, we thought we were gonna die, you know.
I know.
You know,
dramatic. They are dramatic, though, aren't they? They really are.
You know, we're like that. We're like the cats. Like, when are you coming back?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's perfect. It is true. It really is. It's got to be like that. Well, it is like that, but yeah. So, I mean, so you've obviously got a picture now in your head of the kind of life that I had. So of course, you know, I started speaking more to my friends. You know, do you believe in, you know, obviously I'm a bit older now, I understand, you know, the term alien and extraterrestrial, and my mum shares me her experiences. I'll save that for another time. Yeah. Cool. Well, I can share with you now if you want. It's only quick. Okay, cool. So she went to the cinema with her friends. She was in her 20s, and it was something she did quite regular. On a Saturday night, they would go to the cinema. And so just a normal Saturday night, they go to the cinema. Oh my God, I just remembered, yeah. They were watching the movie Alien.
Oh,
I just remembered. Yeah, that's weird. I've always forgot about that bit. Anyway, it'll make sense when I finish. So she was watching Alien. Yeah, it just come out of something in the cinema, and my mum was big into sci-fi and Star Trek. Like, she loves all that. So she was like, I'm going. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense. And I love all that stuff. So anyway, so after the movie, they wanted to get home quick. So my mum was driving and she decided, oh hell, let's take a shortcut and let's drive through the country lanes, practically, near enough through the woods.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can see where this is going, can't you? Yeah. This bit's like what you see in the movies. So
Yeah.
she's coming through because again she wasn't really scared of the dark. She should be, and I should have been really, but we weren't. Probably because we're desensitized from it all. We're so used to it. We're just anyway. So she's driving through the woods, and then from what she's saying, she says the car started like jerking a bit. I don't know if that's the right word or even the appropriate word, but it was like just acting up. And the lights were like, the car lights, the headlights, they kept fading in and out. So she was panicking. And then all of a sudden, my mum's friend says to my mum, Ellen, put your foot down now. I've got chills. Put your foot down now. And my mum's like, what? She says, just don't ask. Just put your foot down and just get out of here as fast as we can. And the mum's like, no, what? Tell me now. What is it? She says there's something flying in through the woods above us and it looks like a UFO. And my mum's like, and it's chasing us. It's been literally behind us the whole time. And my mum panics. And then I remember she said that she quickly locked all the doors and she just put her foot down and got out there as fast as she can. So yeah, she experienced that.
Wow. Yeah, now I think we kind of know what causes that with the crash, why that makes that happen to cars. But when you're experiencing it, it's so terrifying that because you don't know what's happening. It would be good to put that out there for people to understand what's actually really happening, so they wouldn't be afraid. But there are aren't there some ETs? Not to jump too far ahead, but there are some ETs that maybe you do want to put your foot down and get the hell out of there.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Might have been one of them.
Right, where was I? Where did I finish before that? I'm like, my brain goes slow now until I get into my memories again, and then it'll be like, so, oh yeah, so yeah, mad. Oh, and this is another thing as well, right? So there would be periods when I was younger, and even now to this day, there'll be periods where my psychic abilities will be almost non-existent, or I'm just not able to tap into them because I don't know, perhaps my vibration got so low because of life and depression, it happens to the best of us. But at its most strongest, I made a connection a long time ago. So especially when I was younger, it'd be at my strongest whenever I had visitation or I was taken, as in like taken on a ship. And that I've heard that a lot as well, because when you're taken, it's a bit like when people have near-death experiences, isn't it? They're not psychic, they come back and all of a sudden they're a full-blown medium and they're doing it for a living. It does something, it alters, it activates, it alters, it does something to your energy, doesn't it? And I can't think of the technical whale term to describe it, but if maybe you could.
Getting downloads. You may be getting downloads while you're acting. Kind of like Matrix when Neo was in the spacecraft and he was getting downloads.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, So could have been that. Yeah,
it could be, yeah. So these are the symptoms that I experienced just after I'd been taken. So it'd be wild things. So it would be things like, for instance, I'm sat in a living room, which, this happened, I've sat in the living room and I'm sat under the ceiling light shade, obviously the light's on, and all of a sudden it would just start acting up and sparking and going crazy, and then it would just shatter and glass would fall all over us, or this was very common. I would walk past a lamppost outside at night and the light would be fine, but the moment I walked past it, I can guarantee it would start acting up. It would start
Yeah.
Dim, like the light would go out, it would come on, it would dim it, it would make a static noise. You know,
Yep.
I always used to get electric shocks every time I touched the TV, fridge, the carts, like proper static shocks. Yeah.
Oh my God, yes. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Extra ringing in the ears. My intuition was a lot stronger. I was able to connect to spirit more. I was able to receive downloads of information. Not very often, but sometimes I'd get a bloody nose. I'd wake up and I'd have a bloody nose. Or, in fact, a few days ago, I woke up and there was blood in my ear. Don't know what happened there, but
Wow.
yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
You were taken. Are you going to talk about like any of the times you were taken? Do you want to
Yeah,
go into that?
yeah, I can do.